I'm Dorothy Godin, broker with Remax Crown Realty, and welcome to Thursday Thoughts. Well, everybody continues to talk about the softening of the market and what's that going to do to average sale price. I can tell you that certainly, as we've spoken all month, the markets has been softening with regard to residential sales in the city of Greater Sudbury. So far this month, 77% of all the sales were at or above list price. And remember, in the peak, it was 95%. Definitely, we're seeing less multiple offers. We're seeing offer dates come and go, and no offers are coming in. Average sale price now has finally slipped a little bit, but it's very minor. Year to date, the average sale price is 498, 802,000. And if you remember, we've been kind of hovering around that $500,000 range in the last 6 months. So even though we've seen a slight reduction in the average sale price, it is still 23% over last year's sale price. So sellers are still doing very, very well. I think the anxiety right now with sellers is, if they have purchased and purchased cash and then have to sell their house, they're just realizing now that they have missed the peak and that they may not get what they thought they were going to get for their house. So that may be causing some financial anxieties for sure for people who have bought unconditionally but still have to sell their house. But just remember, as a whole, sellers are still doing really well, and we're 23% above last year's average sale price year to date. The sale to list ratio for this month is 8%. It was actually 8.6%. And year to date last year, it was 7%. So we're coming more in line to what happened last year. It's still very frustrating for buyers. They're still seeing multiple offers, albeit not that many. And we're still seeing that list 299 and sells for 400, which is ridiculous in this market. Um, I don't understand that philosophy of listing, but we're still seeing that. So sellers are still very, very frustrated. It's still a seller's market, even though we've had this minor shift and this minor softening. Houses are taking a little bit longer to sell. The average days on the market right now is 14. And last year, for the first 6 months, it was around 17. So those two numbers, the average days on the market and the sale to list ratio, are very similar to the first 6 months of last year. And if you remember last year, we were saying it was such a crazy market. So we're settling down to maybe a market that's very similar to what we saw last year. So that peak, it looks like that peak where we saw 95% of everything selling at or above, and we saw things selling 25% above list price. That looks like that peak is over, and we're just kind of settling down to the new normal, which is still a seller's market. Average sale price is still 23% above last year's average sale price year to date. So we still are in a seller's market. We need a heck of a lot more listings to move it into a balanced market. And speaking of listings, right now we have 250 residential listings in the city of Greater Sudbury, and that excludes, of course, a new construction or under construction because they tend to be very repetitive. So we're getting more listings, which is great. And the softening certainly is welcomed, but by no means is it changing the market. Buyers are still frustrated, and now sellers are a little frustrated because they perhaps have missed the peak of the market. But it's still a very strong seller's market. So I hope you find this helpful. As always, you can reach me at dorothygodin@remax.net or 705-561-2360. Have a great long weekend.